Untold Story of Manchester, Britain's powerhouse city. There's a rhythm to Manchester that no rain can drown out. It hums beneath the cobblestones, it echoes in the mills, and it rises from the terraces where generations once sang their hearts out. This is the untold story of Manchester, Britain's powerhouse city, where steam, struggle and spirit built something far greater than a skyline. Manchester was never content to follow. It led revolutions, birthed ideas, and inspired the world to think bigger. Its past is not just history, it's the blueprint of modern Britain. The birth of an industrial legend. Before it became a titan of trade and innovation, Manchester was a quiet market town surrounded by farmland. Everything changed in the late 18th century when the invention of the spinning frame met the raw power of steam. Factories rose like fortresses, and Manchester became the beating heart of the Industrial Revolution. Cotton was king. The River Irwell carried barges stacked with textiles destined for every corner of the world, while the skyline filled with chimneys that painted the sky with ambition. By 1835, Manchester produced nearly half of the world's cotton cloth, a staggering feat that transformed it from provincial backwater to international powerhouse. With prosperity came people. Workers flooded in from rural England, Ireland, and across Europe. The city grew dense, loud, and electric. Its nickname, Cottonopolis, wasn't just poetic, it was factual. Every brick and beam seemed to hum with productivity, and the world took notice. Struggle, spirit, and the rise of the working class. For all its progress, industrial Manchester was no paradise. Behind the grandeur of St Anne's Square and the new town hall, thousands lived in cramped, smoky slums. Yet, from hardship grew solidarity. The people who powered the mills demanded dignity, and in Manchester, the modern working-class movement was born. The infamous Peterloo Massacre of 1819, when peaceful protesters for voting rights were charged by cavalry, became a turning point. The tragedy lit a fire in Britain's conscience, sparking reforms that reshaped democracy. Out of that pain emerged a spirit that would define Manchester for centuries. A refusal to stay silent, a belief in justice, and an unshakable sense of unity. Even today, that working-class ethos pulses through Manchester's veins. You can feel it in the pubs of Ancoats, in the laughter spilling from the terraces, and in the quiet pride of people who know their city once fought for everyone's voice to be heard. Engines, ideas, and endless innovation. Manchester didn't just fuel the Industrial Revolution, it engineered the modern world. In 1830, it built the Liverpool and Manchester Railway, the first intercity passenger line, proving that steam could shrink distance and time itself. What began as a way to move cotton became the model for global transport. Science thrived here too. The University of Manchester gave birth to groundbreaking discoveries, the world's first stored program computer in 1948, and graphene, the wonder material, in 2004. From steam to silicon, the city has always been a workshop of progress. The cooperative movement also took root nearby in Rochdale, where the Rochdale pioneers founded a new model for fairness and shared ownership. Their vision of equality through trade spread across the world, echoing Manchester's deep social conscience. Today, that same innovative DNA lives on in Media City UK, Spinningfields, and the tech clusters that make Manchester one of Europe's fastest-growing digital economies. The machines have changed, but the drive to invent never stopped. Brick, steel, and beauty, Manchester's architecture. Few cities wear their history as proudly as Manchester. Every corner is a collision of time periods, red brick mills whispering to glass towers, Gothic arches gazing at steel and light. Architecture here isn't background, it's biography. The John Rylands Library stands like a cathedral of knowledge, its stone-carved pages glowing beneath stained glass. Nearby, Manchester Town Hall, a masterpiece by Alfred Waterhouse, still commands Albert Square with grandeur that rivals Westminster. Each building tells of civic pride and the belief that beauty should belong to everyone. Then came reinvention. The industrial shells of Ancoats became loft apartments, studios, and cafes. Abandoned mills turned into music venues and galleries. The skyline soared again with Beetham Tower, a symbol that Manchester's ambition is as tall as ever. Walk along the canals at sunset and you'll see it, a city reborn without forgetting where it came from. Its architecture is a love letter to endurance and imagination, a perfect metaphor for Manchester itself. Soundtracks and stories, the cultural heart of Manchester. If London makes the headlines, Manchester makes the anthems. The city has given the world music that defined generations. The Smiths, Joy Division, New Order, the Stone Roses, and Oasis. Each band carried the city's signature blend of melancholy and defiance, turning grey skies into poetry and working-class life into art. In the 1980s, the legendary Hacienda Club became the epicentre of the Manchester era, fusing indie and dance into something utterly new. The movement wasn't just about sound, it was about rebellion, community, and joy. But Manchester's creativity extends beyond music. It's the home of writers like Elizabeth Gaskell, who exposed the human cost of industrialisation, and Anthony Burgess, whose words pushed the limits of language. It's a city where art and struggle have always walked hand in hand. Theatres like Home and the Royal Exchange keep that spirit alive today, while street art and festivals splash the city with colour. Culture here isn't curated. It's lived, breathed, and shared. From ruin to renaissance. Like every great story, the untold story of Manchester. Britain's powerhouse city has its moments of heartbreak. By the mid-20th century, global competition and automation brought decline. Mills closed, jobs vanished, and the smoke that once signified success drifted away. The 1996 bombing that tore through the city centre could have broken its spirit, but instead, it united it. Out of destruction came determination. The reconstruction that followed wasn't merely structural, it was spiritual. Manchester rebuilt itself not as a copy of its past, but as a vision of its future. Streets once known for soot are now lined with restaurants, theatres, and tech firms. The northern quarter, once a forgotten corner, has become a creative powerhouse. Murals, music, and startups filling the space where machinery once roared. Manchester didn't just recover, it reinvented what recovery means. The pulse of sport and community. Few cities live and breathe sport like Manchester. Manchester United and Manchester City have become global symbols, carrying the city's name to every continent. Their rivalry is fierce, but beneath it lies a shared pride that binds Mancunians together. Sport here isn't only about fame, it's about belonging. The 2002 Commonwealth Games transformed East Manchester, leaving behind world-class venues like the Etihad Stadium and igniting regeneration that continues today. Cricket thrives at Old Trafford, cycling shines at the National Velodrome, and grassroots clubs across the city nurture future stars. Manchester's passion for sport mirrors its wider soul, competitive yet community-driven, proud yet humble, always striving for more. Whether on the pitch or in daily life, this city plays to win, together. Diversity, unity, and the future ahead. The story of Manchester has always been written by many hands, from Irish labourers and Jewish traders to Caribbean, South Asian and African families. Its diversity has shaped its resilience. Walk through Rusholme's Curry Mile or the markets of Cheetham Hill, and you'll see a living portrait of global Britain, vibrant, mixed, and open-armed. The Manchester Bee, born during the Industrial Revolution, has become a symbol of this unity. After the 2017 tragedy at the Arena, it re-emerged as a sign of strength and compassion, The image now decorates murals, tattoos, and lampposts, a small insect that represents the power of collective spirit. As Britain looks north for renewal, Manchester leads again. The Northern Powerhouse Initiative, the expansion of Media City UK, and the continued growth of science and technology make the city central to the country's next chapter. Projects like Mayfield Park and Factory International show that Manchester still dares to dream. The future of this city isn't written in steel and glass alone. It's written in its people, bold, creative, and unafraid of challenge. In a changing Britain, Manchester remains its most human heartbeat. The Untold Story of Manchester. Britain's powerhouse city is more than a chronicle. It's a promise. From mills to music, from hardship to hope, Manchester has never stopped evolving. Its rain may fall often, but so does its light. The world keeps turning, yet this city keeps leading. One invention, one anthem, and one act of courage at a time. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and don't forget to turn on the notification bell.